Good evening, everyone. And for those joining us from the CET time zone, a very good morning to you. I just want to say thank you to all of you all who are joining us today for the EBG Insight webinar. I take this time to introduce you to Mr. Joel Akilan, Chairman of the European Business Group, to say a few words.
Hello, everyone. On behalf of European Business Group, as chairman, it is my pleasure to extend a warm welcome to all of you at the inaugural session of EBG Insight series. This initiative was envisaged as a platform for experts to share knowledge, perspectives, and practical solutions to the challenges business face today. I'm delighted to share that owing to the tremendous response we have received, the Insight series will now be held as a regular monthly engagement. A few words about EBG. Established in 1997, the European Business Group is a member led not for profit platform that promotes international business interests in India with active chapters in Mumbai and Delhi. We work closely with both central and state governments. Let me quickly share the core objectives of EBG Federation. The goal is to promote Europe as India's most preferred partner. We want to create the right environment where European companies can operate, grow, and collaborate successfully in India. We act as a collective advocacy voice for European business. This means we regularly engage with policymakers, regulators, and key stakeholders to highlight challenges, share industry perspectives, and shape reforms that benefit both India and Europe. We work to support and represent European business, including Indo European joint ventures by addressing sectoral and regulatory matters, helping them navigate India's dynamic business landscape. In short, our mission is to be a bridge between European business and Indian ecosystem, ensuring sustainable growth and partnership. As an EBG member, you can be part of networking events and connect with senior business leaders. Attend sectoral focus seminars and gain insight into market trends, reforms, and opportunities. You can also be a part of the leadership dialogue and policy roundtables and exchange views with top CEOs and government officials. Participate in workshops and navigate India's evolving business landscape. Webinars and virtual sessions like this, access to experts' insight from anywhere. For those who are not yet members, we would be delighted to have you join us. And if you are interested in connecting with our members or learning more about EBG, please feel free to reach out to Tanya for more details on EBG membership or sponsorship opportunities that can benefit your organization objectives. With that, it's my pleasure to hand over the mic to our distinguished speaker, Mr. Vikram Lalwani, Director of Business Analytics and Technology at Nexdigm, who will take us through today's topic, Gen AI in business, what's hype, what's real, and what's next. Vikram, over to you.
Thank you so much, Joel, for the intro. And without taking much of a time, I think let's get into the core topic of today's discussion. So, good afternoon and good morning and good evening to respective participants from different zones of the world. Uh, Today we are going to discuss on a very interesting and a topic which is kind of a buzzword these days, generative AI, and how do we use it for transforming businesses across. So I'm sure you guys will go with some takeaway, concrete takeaway from the session. I'm trying to keep it more practical rather than the theoretical, because pretty sure that most of you guys are aware of the theoretical side of it. However, at the beginning, just to set the right tone, we'll go through some basic concepts of Gen AI. So what we intend to cover today's topic or discussion is what is Gen AI, and then the brief history of Gen AI, wherein we will discuss how things evolved over a period of time, and this is not something which is last 2-3 years development. Then we'll get into a detailed kind of a aspect about Gen AI, which is more from a mindset change that is required for implementing Gen AI initiatives in your business. We will also quickly talk about the core capabilities of Gen AI, and then we will get into or delve into the topic of human interactions with Gen AI, which is a very important aspect of today's entire session. And then we will, towards the end, we will do certain live demos of demonstrating use of various tools in front of you, so that you guys get more comfortable and familiar with the various tools. So that's is our uh, the content for the score, for the session today. So to start with, what is Gen AI, right? So artificial intelligence, AI, ML, Gen AI, LLM, these are the topics, these are the concepts which are very vaguely used in the industry, interchangeably at times. But if we have to kind of categorize them in terms of sets and subsets, so artificial intelligence is the larger set, which internally has Gen AI as one of the subsets, and within Gen AI there is a one of the core subset which is large language modeling. So we will be getting into the details of these concepts, but at a high level, Gen AI, it refers to the class of artificial intelligence models which are capable of generating new content. Okay, so the word Gen AI is coming from there. Its ability to generate text, images, audio, codes, and much more. Right. So that is what the Gen AI, the word comes from. And if I have to kind of look at a Gen AI tool, it is more of a creative assistant, okay, powered by thousands of or millions of computers, which is a hyper smart assistant, I would say. So, unlike a traditional AI wherein we would predict or classify certain things, in Gen AI, the focus is more on creating, conversing, and collaborating. So that is the definition, by definition, or the meaning of Gen AI, we would say. And how does it work? So basically, the models of Gen AI are trained on large or vast data sets, which include the texts, images, documents, and we all know the way we are creating new data continuously. The volumes of data available over there is huge, and hence the ability of these models to get trained and be more accurate is very high. uh, these models, uh, typically the Gen AI models, also do understand the natural languages. So unlike historically we used to give commands in the software era, in Gen AI era we do not give commands but we give prompts, and these prompts are in natural languages. It could be in English, it could be in some other languages as well. Uh, so that means the user need not know the coding per se, or any technical uh, computer language for that matter. And the beauty of Gen AI tools is it creates the outcome which is quite human like response, or which is aware of the context for which it is being created. And then these outputs can be further refined and controlled based on the business use cases. So depending upon what we are looking at, whether to create a particular uh, video, audio, image, or some data, depending upon that the refinement can go on. So to summarize, Gen AI is more of a, I would say, a smart assistant for all of us. And we have seen the way it has gone. The buzzword has gone in the industry in last few years, couple of years, but the history is not as recent as just 2 years from Gen AI perspective. Basically, if we see the early applications of Gen AI started somewhere back in 1950s. A program which could mimic the basic conversations, the program named Eliza back then in 1950s, and a lot of foundational work did happen during 1950s to 90s, those 44 decades. A lot of work happened. Then some further developments happened in 2000s, wherein the AI or machine learning kind of predicting patterns and those things started picking up. The crucial or the turning point in this entire journey was 2017, where the transformer models got developed. Okay, the transformers uh, invented in 2017 were capable of handling the natural language. Uh, and that's where the natural language processing and AI came together, with which today's if I fast forward to 2023 or 2025, we have so many tools, particularly the chat gpt in 2022 became largely popular. So that is the outcome of all these efforts gone in last 5 to 7 decades. And the important aspect is, today most of us are aware of chat gpts of the world or geminis of the world, or but these are not the only tools as such. There is a much larger landscape of AI tools. The AI tools are kind of categorized basis their uh, application or their core strength for which they are built. It could be, say, coding, imaging, video making, text generation, research, uh, 3D modeling, speeches, etc. So basically, ChatGPT is what became very popular in 2022 November when it was kind of launched. But if, as we talk today, in 2025, rather by end of January 2025, the number is 10,000 plus tools available in the market. So that means if we have to kind of get the sorry if we have to get the most benefit of this AI transformation technology in our businesses, we have to be aware of all these ecosystems, all these models available, and should be in a position to select the right one for us. So these tools or GenAI as a technology, they have kind of have their specific core capabilities. It could be around content creation. It could be around data analysis and reporting. It could be around customer support. So these are the business activities, I would say, wherein we are talking about creating a content for certain business function like HR or customer support for in the form of AI chatbots, or for legal for a department, it could be clauses extraction or information extraction from uh, contracts, legal contracts. So basically, all various business functions or activities of any business are today getting impacted because of AI, and they have huge potential to transform themselves and the processes involved in those functions to achieve highest level of efficiency. So, to give you some examples in terms of the sales function or HR functions or legal functions, these are typical business functions where we see a lot of application of Gen AI. Say, for example, in HR, JD creation is an activity which is kind of does take a lot of efforts because the quality of JD and the articulation of job description becomes crucial aspect in hiring the right people over there. So, from that perspective, JD creation is one of the very useful application of GenAI in HR. Similarly, in legal, there are contracts which are running in 100 or 500 or thousands of pages, and we need to kind of prepare summaries from those contracts. Now, this can be done using GenAI within few minutes, which earlier used to take a lot of time. Similarly, in finance, we that the creation of board reports or board PPTs for basis of financial analysis, even for procurement function, creating a competitive landscape for vendors. So these are some of the examples where we can, use Gen AI and bring in significant efficiency and reduce the dependability or dependency on people in the processes and make it more automated. So how do we go about it? selecting the most popular tool. For example, today ChatGPT is the most popular tool, and hence we just subscribe to ChatGPT and start using it. That's not the right way of implementing GenAI initiative for businesses or organizations. It is about selecting the right GenAI tool and following the best practices around it. Now, how do we select the right GenAI tool? The most important aspect of it is the purpose. Uh, each tool which is there available in the market has been built keeping in certain core functionalities in mind, and each tool has its own strengths in terms of those functionalities. So some tools are very good at uh, creating images. Some tools are very good at reading tabular data and bringing out insights. Some tools are very good at creating audios or videos. So depending upon the specific use case that we have, aligning the selection of tool for that purpose is very important. The second thing is the vendor reliability, because for each of those applications there are so many tools available in the market. uh, and with the use of these tools we are actually kind of also exposing our own data to the tool. So the reliability of the vendor, or the source organization through which the tool is being offered, becomes important aspect in selecting the tool. Data privacy, as I briefly touched upon, uh, it is always recommended to use paid licenses rather than using the free versions of these AI tools, so that the data that you are uploading into these tools for your use is protected and not kind of misused further. Uh, of course, as we move forward in the journey, integration of these tools with our other systems and ERPs and other CRMS, etc., availability of the APIs and connectors and plugins, etc., do impact our selection. And of last but not the least, the costs involved, because while AI brings a lot of value creation or a lot of cost savings in terms of the efforts and time, but all these tools are kind of come with a cost. So we have to kind of very closely evaluate various tools which are suitable enough for our particular use case, and look at the costs involved with those tools, accuracy involved with those tools, and then select the right one. So that's how we have to kind of move forward when it comes to the selection of right tools. So is it good enough that we have selected a right tool and we are done? So it is not. Rather, it's more of a mindset change that we have to go through. Uh, the first thing that we have to kind of adopt is, it's not an implementation of just some another technology. We have to treat it as a human companion over there. So the interaction with the interaction that we have with any AI tool has to be completely different, with a different mindset. So in the traditional setup, we would give commands to softwares, and softwares would perform the activities. uh, However, in the AI or Gen AI setup, what we have to give them is are the prompts which are in natural languages, but with that comes in a specific structure, because that helps the model also understand better the objective that you are trying to do with that outcome. How do you think, what do you prefer, those things do matter. I will delve into that things as we move forward in the next topic on the prompt engineering. But yes, with the mindset change, we are looking at huge fast adoption of millions of users of GenAI across the globe within no time. I mean, within first 5 days, I think the uh, chat gpt had millions of subscribers or downloads, and in last 3 years the number of users of GenAI have gone 7 times. So the adoption is very fast, uh, and particularly because it is very easy to use, right? Not not the user is not required to kind of know the technical language or coding, etc. It is quite user friendly, and it does bring in a lot of value creation or savings, and hence it is finding application cross industry, and cross industries, cross business functions like sales, finance, HR. So because of these things, the use is going up, but deriving the right benefit out of it, or transforming your own organization with this, will require a significant mindset change. So with this, when I'm talking about mindset change, the inevitable topic that is need to be discussed is the prompt engineering. Basically, how you ask certain thing to the machine or to the AI tool is as important as what you are asking for. So, as I mentioned in the earlier software era, it was more of commands, and those commands, would get you the predefined outcome. But here it changes. The way you ask for something with the AI tool will change the outcome that you get. So better the prompt, better the output, and lesser the iterations. And how to give those better prompts is kind of decodified over a period of time, and there is a structure to it. How do you do it? And if I have to kind of simplify it, when we are interact, so we have to actually look at all these GenAI tools as our colleagues or juniors who are super intelligent, hyper smart, uh, yet no risk of attrition, right? So if you are interacting with such a high intelligent colleague, how would you give your instructions? So you would first start with setting up the context, clear, making it clear the objective that you want to achieve. Then you get into what you actually want to do, actions, and then so those things are part of the any particular prompt. So I'll take you through all those 7 aspects of a good prompt. We call it anatomy of the great prompt. So the first and foremost aspect of a good prompt is act as. So basically here we define what kind of assistant I'm looking for. Am I looking for a corporate strategist, or am I looking for a senior designer, or am I looking for a senior legal counsel, or am I looking for a writer, author, analyst? Depending upon that, the AI tool will pull out those backend models, which will be able to kind of give us more accurate and near to our expectation outcome. So that is the first most important aspect. The second one is we have to give the context behind the entire activity. So unlike in commands, we would just say print or delete or add. Here that's not the case. Here you have to actually set the background information, give it to the GenAI tool, and then clearly define the objective that you are trying to achieve through that. Once the tool is aware of the context and objective that you are trying to uh, achieve, then you give the actions. What exactly do you want the GenAI tool do for you, right? So whether you want, prepare a specific summary of dates in a legal contract or something like that. We'll go through the actual examples and the live demos of those. But you define the action, and in the action also you be as precise and specific. Uh, but that is not the end of the story. After you have given the action or defined the action, you have also have to define very clearly the outcome that you are expecting. So it is very much similar to interacting with a human being, that you tell your a colleague or your junior or your assistant that I want you to do this, and I am looking at an outcome which looks like this, and then I actually get into a detailed explanation of how that outcome would look like. So this helps the AI tool to understand what you are actually looking for. Basis that the AI tool will come up with some outcome, you should go through that and give a feedback to the AI tool. This is very different from software era. Software era was command and outcome. There was no feedback kind of a mechanism involved there. But in Gen AI, yes, feedback is important, because from your feedback, the AI tool will be able to kind of refine or improvise the outcome. And once you have got the outcome which was of your choice, which was of your expectation, uh, give an acknowledgement to the AI tool that, yeah, this is what you liked, or this is what you kind of looking for. Why? Because last two steps, the feedback and acknowledgement, will help the tool understand you better. And the more understanding is there for the tool about your way of working, your way of thinking, next time when you use the same tool, you get a better outcome. So that's the beauty of Gen AI, that as you use it more and more, it it starts understanding you, and it you actually feel like you're working with a companion rather than a tool. So that's about the the prompts. Now I think I wanted to cover this part of the theory, because before we get into the details of some of the practical examples, this theory was important so that all of you will be now be able to relate to the actual demo or the live cases that we are going to do after this. So today we will do 10 demo or 10 actual activities over here. Uh, and these are, we have selected the examples, or we have selected these demos such that these are relevant for most of you in your day-to-day activities. For example, each one of us, we attend so many meetings these days, online, offline, both, and we do capture our notes, uh, you know, over a rough pad or a notebook. Now, these notes can be converted into a proper minutes of meetings with the help of a Gen AI tool, right? So that's the case that we'll look at first. Uh, this business scenario, as I mentioned, a recent HR marketing sync held on so and so date, and a proposed HR policy changes were discussed. As a part of HR team, I captured rough shorthand notes during the call, and using GenAI, we want to convert it into a clean, structured minutes of meetings. Now, uh, selection of tool becomes very important in any of the use cases. Here we have used a Claude.ai as the tool, particularly because it is able to retain the context, uh, control the tone that is captured in the writing, and summarize the overall minutes of meeting in a more structured and structured summarization is possible. So keeping in these aspects in mind, uh, we have selected Claude AI over here. And now I'm coming to the second part, which is the most important part of this live demo, which is understanding the prompt that we have given. So, as I mentioned, there are 7 components. So, first one is act as. So, I would want the AI tool to act as a professional HR assistant, which who comes with a particular documentation and writing skills. Then I give a context that a recent HR marketing thing held on so and so date, focused on proposed HR policy changes. I want to prepare the meeting notes to be shared to the attendees and the higher management. So here I'm making it very clear that these notes are going to be shared with higher management. So that is the objective of end use of the outcome. Then I, after clarifying all these things, the context and the objective, then I get into that user of notes I will provide below to convert them into a clean, well structured and professional minutes of meetings in email format. So here I have also kind of uh, defined the outcome format that I'm looking for, which is the email format. But I do not stop over there, and I define the outcome even more precisely. And this is most important aspect of any prompt. So here I am, I would say a polished minutes of meeting email draft in short, clear, and crisp points with 10 to 15 words each, and it should capture the title, date, attendees, platform, professionals, and factual tone it should have. The agenda point should be kind of captured one after another. The key discussion highlights have to be highlighted in the MOM, and towards the end, the action items along with which are assigned to HR and which are assigned to other departments. So the responsibilities with specific deadlines. So here we have to kind of define the outcome that I'm expecting from the GenAI tool. And then I also give some do's and don'ts, like we do give it to our human colleagues, right? That clearly list out the agenda, key discussion points, and action items categorized by teams with deadlines. So categorization of these action items by teams is something which I want to highlight over there. So this is the prompt I would use. Now let's do it, in a practical way right now over here. So we go to the Claude as the uh, tool. So this looks like this. So this is the landing page of Claude. Uh, this little similar to any search engine, interface wherein you just put your requirement over there. So the same prompt that we discussed a little ago, we have copied it over here, and I upload the screenshot of the handwritten uh, notes. So I'm just uploading it over here. I'll show the notes how they it looks like once it is uploaded. Yeah. So this is the kind of handwritten notes that we captured, and I uploaded this image. So you have to just click an image of the notes and upload it over here and click. And within few seconds, it will start us giving us the outcome. See, you can see very structured minutes of meetings over there. What was the date, who were the attendees, what was the agenda discussed, and what are the action items and the responsibilities and the due dates. Everything is kind of captured in no time. So I'm sure you would appreciate the potential time saving and effort saving that we would have otherwise put in to create this MOM from the handwritten notes. I think I'll just take a pause to check with audience that uh, you guys understood this first demo, how it happened. Any questions on this? Okay, I assume that there are no questions. We will move to the next live demo. Yeah. So another, a typical use case where we can use GenAI very effectively is, reviewing and creating summaries out of contracts. So for those who come from legal background would understand any contract, if you are kind of handed over, the first thing that you are supposed to review the contract, the first thing that you have to do is make a list of all the dates and incidences or the events captured in that particular contract. Now many times these contracts run in hundreds of pages, and noting all the dates and events in a chronological manner is a time consuming activity, right? So that's what we are trying to do over here. We have selected ChatGPT 4.0 as the 4.0 is the model, ChatGPT as the tool over here, uh, for the reason that it is quite fast for doing this activity and insightful and to an extent customizable. So now moving on to the prompt that we would use for this particular aspect is, so as I mentioned, now we are looking at legal contracts. So I want the GenAI tool to act as a legal analyst. So I would define that. Then I would give a context that the organization is preparing to finalize a high stakes strategic partnership with a client in the month of August 25 to ensure a smooth signing. Cross-functional teams are reviewing the contracts for key obligations and deadlines. So with this context, you extract all key dates and obligations from the client contract to help teams quickly review the milestones. So here we are again getting into the details. The way we are interacting with the Gen AI tool or a machine is detailed, and it is quite similar to the way we would do otherwise with a human assistant. And then we define the expected outcome. What format do you need the outcome? So let's do it in front of all of us. So ChatGPT, this is the landing page of ChatGPT. I kind of pasted the prompt over here. Now I'm adding the contract. So I just simply add the contract, select OK. So here you get the tabular, summary of all the dates, the obligations and tasks or events around those dates, and where it is in the entire the reference of those particular dates within the contract. Now this, otherwise would have taken at least few hours to review a contract which is 300 page pager, and then we can further give them instructions about, yes, this is what I was looking for, but can you just highlight those dates which have some financial implications, etc. And that kind of conversation can happen, and you can get a more precise outcome from the chat gpt over here. Any questions on this particular use case, or are we good to go to the next one? I think there is one question over there. Is the contract uploaded will be exposed to the web or stores to the GPT-4 LLM model, future memory, or stores like a temporary storage? Very interesting and very relevant question. Yes, it gets uploaded or shared with the GPT-4 LLM model. However, depending upon the subscription that you have taken, you can choose whether the ChatGPT can use for further training or restrict it to only this specific use. And if you're using a paid version, these kind of uh, flexibilities are available with you, that whether you want to share the data for further training or not. And this are kept in the memory. You can recall it whenever you want it. I hope I answered that question. Okay, so we will go to the next demo activity. Now here, this look at a scenario wherein you're looking at multiple vendors, and these are marketing vendors, and you want to kind of create a comparative study about these vendors so that you can select the right ones, right? So again, the tool that we have used over here is ChatGPT 4.0. Here I'm calling the tool to act like a senior strategic consultant and market analyst, and then we put a context to it, and we define the action that we're looking at, that we want a comparative you know competitive landscape within these vendors, and about their strengths and the service offerings, and differentiations or specializations and pricing models, and all those things we kind of captured in the action, and we define the outcome, that what kind of outcome we are looking at, present the findings in a structured comparison table. So we are looking for a tabular outcome, and with a brief executive summary with who leads in the digital innovation, who serves enterprise versus mid market better, what market white space opportunities exist. So basically here the domain knowledge of the user would matter a lot, uh, and hence I always say that Gen AI is not here to replace us or disrupt us, but it's about us to disrupt the business out there or market out there with the help of Gen AI. So let's go to the chat GPT, put this particular prompt, and just click. It takes its quick time to process it, and then it will it gives us those I think 3 or 4 comparative vendors and their parameters in a comparative kind of tabular columnar format, and followed by a very well articulated executive summary, who leads in the particular digital innovation and who serves the enterprise. So this particular activity would have taken at least uh, uh, days, if not weeks. to go through the data available in the internet, to go through various reports available around these vendors, and then compile and speak to various people, and then make this kind of summary, which is we are able to kind of do it in few seconds, right? So that's the power of Gen AI, and how we can actually use this for uh, transforming the way we work today in various functions. Moving to the next case study. Yeah. So here we are looking at creating a chatbot. Now this is little towards agentic AI. I would say not only Gen AI, but for example, there are certain this is a common scenario in any organization, that there are IT help desk over there, and there are IT issues which keep on coming in, and as a user you want to kind of want a 24 by 7 support on IT issues for addressing those routine IT issues. Now as a IT team or support team, you may want to deploy a Gen AI agent or assistant who would do that activity on behalf of you, right? And the tool we would use for this is Copilot, uh, which is integrated in your Microsoft Teams apps. And we go on actually defining what this tool is supposed to do, or what is objective. Go back. Sorry. Yeah. So act as a friendly as So here we want this over agent to be more friendly and with patient with non-technical uh, audience as well. The objective is basically to improve employee satisfaction and remove delays by providing instant and fast level IT support. The tone and language, we can define that always use simple, easy to understand language, avoid jargons, uh, overly technical terms, be calm, polite. So this is what you expect from your IT support, right? So exactly that is what you actually train your uh, AI tool over here, and the chatbot or the tool that you would create using this will be as trained on those kind of qualities aspects. And then we are saying that um, the expected outcome is a guide where step by step uh, instructions are available to the users to solve those issues, and ask clarifying questions only if absolutely needed. So many a times what happens, we go to any support uh, IT support team member, and they would ask you n number of questions. Now sometimes some of those questions are not necessary as well, and in that case, in that scenario, as a user we get irritated. Now with Gen AI agent, we don't want that to happen, and hence we define that in our outcome, right? Now with this I think let us create this chatbot live in right now, right over here. The step one is open the Teams. In Teams there is a Copilot window which is integrated. In that window we'll have to click. So I'll take you through this live right now. So we copy the prompt, go to Teams, right? So we created on create new agent. Now here we have to kind of give a name to the agent. So let's call it say IT support desktop or desk. Then we describe the agent. So here basically we are actually explaining what the agent is here. This is visible to the users, right? So they would know that what this agent is meant for. And then you give your prompt over here, and then you select the uh, capabilities or prompts that you want to kind of use over there. For example, if I want to a typical problem of LAN not working, I want to create a prompt for that. So title is LAN not working, message is my LAN is not working. So it will create a agent for us. So anybody who is kind of who will go to this agent and put any question around its requirements on IT issues. Go to agent. Yeah, so someone's LAN is not working. He would say, "Hi, my LAN is not working. Please help me." So this agent is now kind of gathering the data available all over the world around this issue and coming up with a very specific uh, step-by-step directions for you over here. So first you can check. So it also gives you what you can check and stepwise activities that you can do. So press on window key and key plus R and then do this, blah, blah, blah. And ultimately you can get the issue resolved. So this is an example of how a chatbot can be created using Teams. Now this is an IT help desk. It could be a customer help desk. It could be an employee help desk. It could be admin help desk. So the applications are endless. That is up to us. How do we kind of imagine and use this technology for? But yeah, the technology is quite uh, impactful, I would say. Let's look at another case study, which is very kind of popularly used in these days in industry, creating job description. So in HR function, creating a very accurate job description is one of the important aspect in hiring function or hiring activity. And better the JD, better the chances of getting hiring the right candidates. So this is the prompt that we would use. We are going to use the tool called Perplexity. Now this Perplexity tool is more, from a for this particular activity is more tailored, industry specific, and more relevant from the activity and R&D perspective. And hence we have selected Perplexity over here. Now we call a agent or the tool to act as a professional. Just a moment. We want the tool to act as a professional hiring manager. Uh, and the context is the VP has approved a new senior project manager role and provided a high level of summary of the initial requirements. We need to expand on this for a formal job posting. So we are giving the context why this JD is required. The objective is to accurately translate the role requirements into a job JD and prepare a descriptive job description that aligns well with the job role. Uh, Make sure to include the education qualifications required in a master degree, product management skills, and 5+ years of experience required. So we are kind of getting into the details of what exactly do we want to cover in that particular job description. A polished job description with a professional tone that includes compelling job title, team analytics, clear role overview, key responsibilities. So you know what a good job description JD would look like. So you define that as an outcome, as a expected outcome, and you may also give some additional do's and don'ts as a instructions to the tool. So let's do it and let's see what kind of outcome we get from Perplexity over here. So here it gives me the job title as Senior Project Manager Analytics, Teams Analytics, role overview. We are seeking a Senior Project Manager, blah, blah, blah. Uh, Key role responsibilities, bulleted, very well articulated, required qualifications, very well defined over there, and why you should join us, and all those, typical components of a good JD are captured over here. Now, those from HR background would appreciate, how much time it takes for creating a very good JD. And you can see in no time or few seconds, we are able to kind of create the first draft. Of course, we can further give instructions to this and say that, we like this, we want to emphasize on these kind of aspects, etc. And then it can give us a further refined outcome. So let's go back to the this thing. Yeah, another very popular or use case is you have a lot of excels running around the organization. Many people are working on excels and creating their own excels, etc. And we want to perform certain analysis on the data which is captured in excel, right? So in traditional way, it takes a lot of time for someone to go through the Excel, understand all the tables, formulas, the relationships, the linkages, etc. So to understand the complex Excel itself would take a few hours, and then after that you would be able to kind of do the analysis on the numbers captured in the Excel, right? Here we will see how, with the help of Gemini as a tool, we can quickly get the outcome of from Excel. Uh, the reason why we selected Gemini over here is because data analysis is something which is core for the Gemini as a tool. And in this particular use case, what we are looking at is the data analytics part of it. So we ask the tool to act as an expert data analyst. Then we define the context, the objective, the action, and the expected outcome. For example, I'm specifically mentioning that analyze the Excel file to summarize key trends, identifying patterns, and generate insights. A concise analytical summary that includes ranking of top three products by total revenue, summary of total. So I'm defining what KPIs I want to kind of capture in the analysis, and then we put it to the Gemini. So let's see what kind of uh, outcome we get from this. So here we have given the prompt, but we will have to upload the Excel file as well, the one which we want to kind of use for the analysis. So we selected this particular thing and uploaded, and then click. See, it also gave us the analysis in a kind of a visually appealing manner. Uh, and it also further kind of explains the insights. These are the top three products, this is the revenue, this is summary sales, and region wise what is the breakdown, what are the key insights from this particular file. All this, which is generally requires a lot of skill as well as time to come up with this kind of analysis from a particular file, which then further we can use it in any presentations or any discussions or key meetings. So this is what we can use Gemini for converting, deriving insights from Excel based data. Another interesting use case with a GenAI tool is not only the analysis or not only just asking to create something in terms of text or audio or video, but actually, as I mentioned, it becomes our companion, and we can actually brainstorm with a given GenAI tool. We can ask the GenAI tool to kind of uh, create some pointers for making some strategy, etc. So this particular use case, what we are looking at is created for this today's purpose is, say, a mid-sized company. It has developed a new product, a smart water bottle, which tracks the hydration via applications and sends the reminder to the user. Now the company has developed this smart bottle, and they want to launch in the US market and need a go-to-market strategy. So how do we do it using GenAI? And we want to kind of brainstorm the ideas on how to implement the strategy. So that is the requirement. As I mentioned, the tool that we used is Copilot. Now, the context-aware coding is the strength of Copilot as a tool, and it's the real-time suggestions is what also adds. So the prompt would look like this: act as a senior business strategy consultant. Here, because we are working on a go-to-market strategy, we want someone to be a senior business strategist over there. Then we give a context that design a go-to-market strategy for launching a smart water bottle with hydration tracking in the US market. An objective is to deliver a clear, actionable roadmap covering customer segmentation, value proposition, channel strategy, campaign ideas, and 3 months phased launch plan. So we know what we want to kind of come up with. A typical launch of any such product in a market would require all these things so that uh, board of directors can take appropriate actions over decisions around it. So to create that lot of time and effort and intellect and knowledge and wisdom about the market goes, which is what we are kind of getting it ready made within no time using GenAI. So let's see what Copilot has to give us on this particular prompt. So the GTM strategy overview is available. It specifies the product, which is smart water bottle with hydration tracking. The market we are trying to target is US. The objective is awareness and adoption of this product within 3 months. So the customer segmentation. So it talks about the segmentation of various customers. It could be gym goers or the urban audience or health aware parents. So it has kind of classified itself in various segments over there, and then it further kind of identified the pain points for each of those segments, and it has also identified the opportunity in those segments. Further, it also talks about the value proposition for each of these segments, be it say fitness enthusiast or health conscious professionals or parents of teens, and what is the value proposition for them that is getting articulated. And then we can look at the channel strategy that it is suggesting, that how cost effective and high conversion channels can be utilized. Digital channels is something, Instagram or TikTok ads, these things, Reddit. So these things it has kind of evaluated and suggested, and a very detailed strategy with various aspects over there. What can be done in month one, what can be done in month two, month three, as we are asked for phase wise, month-wise, phase-wise outcome. And then it also suggests comes up with own suggestions. So this is how we can actually brainstorm with this, and then you can further give your input on this, that okay, I like this part of it, but this part does not make sense, or this part needs furthermore considerations. And those kind of feedbacks to this outcome can actually enable Copilot give us even more refined strategy over there, right? So that is the one. We'll go to the next slide over here. Yeah. Uh, Creating presentations using AI is one of the most used feature. I would say many people have started using it. Uh, Again, using only single tool may not necessarily give you the right outcome. As I mentioned earlier, that selecting the right tool for right activity is important. So typically how I do it over here is, I generally uh, identify the topic, give it to Perplexity for brainstorming, uh, get a overall framework and outline of the presentation. Then that outline I give it to Gemini for creating the content within it. And now with this content, I generally give it to AI PPT or Gamma PPT to create a visually appealing, you know, uh, PPT over there. But for the kind of considering the time involved, I would just quickly show you how a AI PPT uh, tool can be used to create certain PPTs very quickly. So here I'm asking the tool to act as a marketing expert. The company will be launching a new product in market. To create a presentation discussing the launch strategy for a new product. So you want to create, showcase your strategy of go to market for that product. Create slides for the chocolate showing key product features, market conditions, customer needs, target audience, competitors, and market size. And the outcome that I'm expecting is a clear, focused launch plan with essential insights. Maintain a professional tone throughout. And from a do's and don'ts perspective, keep it brief, informative, and visually engaging. Avoid vague or excessive content. Keep the slides count according to the professional standards. So exactly this is how otherwise I would have done with my team or my assistant or my juniors, and I would have given this exact context to them to create this. So the same I give it to, say, AI PPT over here. Let's see what AI PPT has to give me as a outcome. So first it defines the overall uh, context, or the content that is going to cover in the PPT, and I can select the template as well on the right hand side. So I select one, and then it starts creating it one by one. Of course, it will take some time over there, but we can, depending upon the selected content, it is creating all those this thing. Now it is also putting the right content at appropriate placeholders over there, and the PPT is ready. Now I can kind of further edit it if required, review it, and then if found okay, I can either download or share it with someone. So here it talks about the key product features. So I think some 12 or 15 slider deck it has created within no time. The formatting etc. is very professional over there, and the time spent on those activities can be completely avoided, and we can more focus on the content and the way we want to utilize this PPT for. Uh, Another interesting use case that we will look at today is you have certain PDFs and you want to convert it into Excel table. Okay, so data captured in PDF, you want to kind of convert it into Excel for further analysis, perhaps. So let's look at it. So there is a I don't go through the entire prompt again, because by now you guys have understood the how do we design our prompt over there. We will quickly go to the ChatGPT. Okay, we put up our prompt over there and we upload the PDF. Let's look at the PDF over there. Yeah. So here I'm uploading a PDF which has got, I think, oh, is it? Yeah. Yeah. So now I can, let's open the PDF first, which we used for this, and have a look at the PDF. It's a quite detailed one. Yeah. So there are a lot of financial, this is, I think, what we have used here is a annual report of a listed company, which is available, publicly available, a listed company over there in India, Nestle. And this particular entire PDF we uploaded into the tool. And now we are going back to the tool for getting a Excel outcome of this particular PPT, PDF. It is in downloads. Yes. Yeah. So I wanted a comparative picture of 2015 versus 2024-25 on various financial terms like turnover, profitability, and uh, just a moment. Let me increase the size of column A. Yeah. So turnover, profit after tax, market capitalization, returns on average equity, shareholders, sales. These are the financial KPIs I wanted to compare for these 2 years. What was there in 2015 and to 24-25 from the annual report that we saw, and this is how we get the outcome in no time, and the accuracy is 100% because that's the beauty. This is not something older version of OCR where we were struggling with 70% or 60% accuracy. Because of the use of AI and the vast data which is used for training these models, the accuracy is very high. So I go back to the So last but not the least, I think images can also be created, and that's where it becomes very interesting these days. You can create something which is not there, but which is there in your imagination. So as a use case, I'm saying that a marketing team is looking for a space tech startup, and it needs an image to be put in over there, and that image needs to have a kind of a astronaut holding a flag and standing on moon, and this image is not available uh, with the marketing guy. So he goes uses the perplexity as the tool, which is very tailored and industry specific and relevant, and it puts the a prompt. So it calls the cinematographer in as a expertise in that, and defines what exactly it is looking for. For example, it is talking about the expected outcome is a digitally realistic photo of an astronaut holding an Indian flag in hand on moon, facing towards Earth while the sun is in the background. So, of course, the user is being quite creative and imagine his or her imagination matters, and that will reflect in the outcome. And then let's see how Perplexity wants to kind of create this into an image. And that's an astronaut standing on a moon, facing facing Earth, with sun at the back of Earth, and a flag in hand. So these days, because of the digital content that we need, a lot of this content creation can become a very easy task using GenAI. While we have seen almost 10 different use cases, practical demos of GenAI, the thing that I would want to kind of highlight, that every technology or every new thing would come with certain risks. So there are certain specific risks which are there with the AI or Gen AI particularly. One of the very common risk is hallucination. So what happens? These tools that we are using over here, uh, they end up generating certain outcome which is false or misleading information, but very confidently kind of presented. Uh, and it happens mainly when the data is insufficient, or the prompt which is given is not very clear. So to give an example, there was an AI chatbot giving fabricated citations on statistics on a particular case laws in there. So to avoid this, there are ways and measures through which you can avoid the tool to hallucinate. You can restrict the tool to operate on a given data rather than actually going into the web and using any unlimited data over there. And there are further ways, of course, for the uh, because of the limitation of time, we may not be able to get into the all details of this. But yeah, uh, generative AI tools do hallucinate, and it may give you sometimes misleading information. The another challenge with Gen AI tools, at least today, is the AI can only process a fixed amount of text or at once. So the memory it would have, or the window it would have, older inputs may get forgotten as the new content is added, and it leads to incomplete answers or loss of conversations at times. But this can be avoided with proper do's and don'ts given in the prompts, and defining what kind of data to be used for the creation. So as we master the art of prompt engineering, I think this can be taken care of. uh, Another risk, which is a big risk over here, is data privacy and security risk. So if you guys are using any of these Gen AI tools for your organization, uh, one important aspect in implementing any Gen AI initiative in the organization is defining what tools we are going to use, uh, getting for a paid versions of it, and ensuring that what data you are actually uploading on these tools. So avoid using free versions over here. Otherwise, the data, if you end up uploading any sensitive data, it may get exposed to the model for further training, and even for the rest of the world over there. So we have to be very, very careful around the data privacy and security. And there are, uh, while today we do not have any frameworks in place from a Gen AI perspective, but I'm pretty sure in no time, the industries would come up with certain data privacy frameworks around Gen AI aspects as well. Another risk involved with Gen AI is the bias and fairness issues. So AI outputs can reflect biases present in the training data. So as I mentioned, each of these tools are uh, trained, or the models are trained on certain training data available. Now, if the training data is biased towards something, the outcome it will give will also be biased. So we have to be mindful of that, and whatever outcome or whatever content that we have created using GenAI, I think reviewing it by human is important at this stage, so that we are not ending up with any biases which are there in the training data itself. And last but not the least, a risk with Gen AI today's day, as we call it AI washing, is misrepresenting traditional tools or basic automation as AI powered. Today we see everything is AI powered. Okay, whether it is a mobile, or it is a vehicle, or it is computer, or it is even a small toy, or a pen, or a calculator, or everything is being kind of marketed as AI enabled or AI powered, but that is not necessarily the case is, and we need to be, as a consumer or a buyers in the market, we should be aware of AI washing. So these are some of the issues which are there today, and this can impact the trust and credibility of the outcome that we are using. But I think if we master the overall skill of prompt engineering and evaluate the right set of tools for our organization's use case, I think I believe we can disrupt the world with AI rather than AI disrupting us. So with that note, I think I will take a pause. Any questions, etc., will be happy to take those questions over there. So there is a question I can see. Hi, in AI PPT, can we upload self-created PPT and ask for refinement? Absolutely, we can do that. In fact, you can also upload your PPTs and ask a GenAI tool to create speaking notes for yourself. You can also refine your existing PPT with certain specific instructions on that. You may want to kind of make it more visually appealing, or you may want to make it more crisp, or you may, and you can define what is the objective of that refinement. So sometimes a PPT, you may want to present it to senior leadership, you would create it in a different way. The same content, if you want to present it to larger organization or middle management, you may want to create it differently. So this context you will have to provide it to the AI tool and upload your PPT, and you can get a refined version of those. So I think I hope that answers that question. And the third question I can see here on the screen is, can we use AI to generate logo for a company? Absolutely, we can use that. People are using it already. Uh, Important thing is, once you have created something, uh, please check with the availability of patent and copyrights around it, because as a logo becomes a signature of your company, you want to kind of copyright it. So copywriting perspective, it is important process that you will have to follow, but creating a very interesting logo is a very good use case in AI. So I think I'm on time to kind of, as we discussed the timeline, we are able to kind of restrict our discussion to that time. Any questions, I'm happy to answer right now. If uh, any of you are not able to kind of this thing, I'm available. You can send it to my mail, and I'll be more than happy to take your questions or queries. Basically, I'm excited about Gen AI, and I'm excited about its application in business transformation. And if I'm able to help you guys in any way in this journey, I'll be really happy about it. So thank you so much for patiently listening to this webinar, and I hope it helped you in some way or the other. Thank you so much.
Thanks so much, Vikram. This has really been a very insightful webinar. I'm so used to Chat GPT. I didn't know that, there were so many other options available. I'm sure I'll definitely be reaching out to you to, make our work a little more easier when it comes to EVG and dealing with databases and, PDF conversions to Excel and things like that. And thanks to all our participants who took time to attend this webinar. And if the presentation can be shared with us, we'd be more than happy to share it with you all.
Yes, I think Tanya from my team would, share the presentation with you guys. And I'm happy it helped, it gave you some additional inputs and the time spent was not wasted.
No, definitely not with AI. Thanks so much, Vikram, and thanks
Thank you.
everyone for joining in.